Hey, this is Quicksmoke with another cooking video for you. Today we are doing chicken Alfredo. Um, Unfortunately, I'm going to have to apologize and say that I'm doing a voiceover because, like I've said before, Grandma Quicksmoke is a little deaf and she's got to play her TV really loud and she likes to watch her shows while I cook. So let's roll it over to the footage and I will see you at the end. Have a good one.
Alright, so here we go. Gonna start making some chicken Alfredo, and we got our ingredients here. Let's see. First, we have the oregano and some rotisserie chicken spice, butter, minced garlic, and of course, chicken. Can't have chicken Alfredo without chicken. And salt and pepper. Just take my word on it. That is salt and pepper. So let me first I want to thank again Vault Girl and Japics for starting this, and hopefully we'll continue. If you guys keep liking the stuff, I will keep making it. Anyway, we're gonna turn on our fire here, and oh, that was a big flame. And we're gonna melt some butter first. So there's the butter melting, and you could use extra virgin olive oil, but I prefer butter because it adds a little more flavor to it, I think, and plus it's going to help later on, which you will see. So while we are waiting for the butter to melt, um, I want you to hit that like button, subscribe if you're not subscribed, tell your friends to subscribe, and we'll get on with the cooking. So we're going to spread the butter around so at least we know the pan is completely buttered. And you want to use a fork or tongs. Be very careful. Um, you don't have to use a whole lot of butter. I use about a fourth of a butter. And while the butter is melting, we can actually start putting in the chicken. Um, and as you'll see, I'm going to do that in just a second. It was really hard for me to concentrate while I was doing this because my grandmother was playing her TV so loud. But there we go. We're laying down the chicken, and there's only 3 of us eating, so I only put about 5 pieces of chicken. That's 2 pieces for me, 2 pieces for Papa Quicksmoke, and 1 piece for Grandma Quicksmoke because she doesn't eat all that much. So once you get the chicken in, make sure you wash your hands right afterwards. Because you are handling raw chicken and you don't want salmonella. Um, Start your seasoning, and you will see me just start the seasoning, and hopefully in just a second here. Taking a really long time to wash my hands. I don't know why. Um, and I'll start off with the salt and pepper. Yeah. Oh no, I put garlic in. That's what I was doing. I was getting a spoon because I didn't have my equipment out. So we're gonna put the minced garlic in, and then just about a teaspoon, and pour a little bit of that juice in there. I like to because it's going to add to that nice garlic taste. Just move it around a little bit. Make sure you spread some of that garlic out. You don't want it just in clumps. And then we're going to salt it. Here we go. There's the salt. Just a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. You'll see that in just a second. There we go. Pepper in that sucker up. And it depends on how much pepper you like. Again, it's your flavoring. It's your family you're cooking for. We're going to put the rotisserie chicken in. Just a couple dashes, not a whole lot, because it can have a strong flavor. And then some oregano. I promise you this is oregano. That's not the funny stuff. Not a whole lot. Just enough to coat it. And then you're just going to let the chicken cook. We're going to pause with a moment of awkward silence for you as I point at the chicken. I can tell you at this point, Even though we just started it, it is starting to smell good. And you can see that chicken turn white almost instantaneously. Um, Again, we have the heat on medium to low, so in between there. You don't want it to quick. You don't want to dry out your chicken while you're cooking, which is also why we use butter. Now, see how it starts to whiten on the bottom there? You want it to get about 3/4 of the way up before you flip your chicken. That's how you know it's gonna cook thoroughly through. And again, when you're cooking chicken, you need to be careful. You need to make sure you cook it completely. Otherwise, you could really make somebody sick. See, again, I'm pointing out how the chicken is getting whiter closer to the top, and we're just gonna flip it over. There we go. See, look at that. That is talent right there. Just flipping it over like a pro. And then you want to cook it. Probably takes about maybe 10 to 15 minutes. I like to put a little bit more salt and pepper on top. I don't put the other seasoning on the other side. Um, for me, it's because I think the flavor just comes out too strong. So just a little salt and pepper on top, and then you can cook it all the way through. And for some reason, I'm playing with the camera right there. I mean, it's really it. These pieces of chicken. I mean, you can use larger pieces of chicken, but these smaller strips cook fairly quickly. And I believe in a minute or so, I cut the camera and I come back and it's mostly cooked through. And right there, I'm trying to tell you not to cook your chicken too long because you don't want it to be too dry. It's also how I marked when I cut the film. There we go. We're back. And the chicken is almost completely done. So we're going to flip it one more time. Just make sure when you're flipping them, you don't, that is hot butter, so you don't want to, flip it too harshly because you'll splash that butter up on you and it's going to hurt like crazy. But as you can see on the chicken, it's starting to brown a little bit. You want to get it, depending on how much you want it cooked, you want it kind of nicely brown. I believe I point out. Oh, this is how you tell the chicken. I'm doing right now. I'm testing the chicken to see if it's done. And look at this. This is beautifully cooked around through. Yep, there's the camera. There we go. Nice and white and moist. Um, you you do want to get a little bit of brownage in it. And I'll show you again by flipping over. See the brown that's starting to get on the tops of it. You don't want to cook it too much past that because then it gets a little rough and dry. And I'm showing you the browning of the chicken. Again, I apologize for having to voice all this over. Um, the audio was just I could barely hear myself talk when I reviewed this video. So now that the chicken is done, we're gonna start to pull the chicken off and put it on a paper plate. And I like to set when I pull the chicken off. There's still a little bit more to go for cooking, so I like to hold it in the microwave. The microwave kind of holds the heat of the chicken a little better. And all this stuff that's in the pan, you just want to kind of swish it around and make sure nothing's stuck to the bottom of the pan. We're going to use the rest of that in a minute. So there I am. I'm putting the chicken in the microwave, and I grabbed my Alfredo sauce. I cannot or have not attempted to make my own Alfredo sauce, so I buy canned, and this brand's pretty good. So we're just going to pour it right in there. It's pretty thick when it comes out, so I like to thin it out a little bit. So, and we're gonna pour a little bit of light cream in the jar. And I'm going to show you that light cream. Yep, there you go, some light cream, and here I am getting ready to pour it in the jar. I believe I turned the camera around and actually show you that I do this. Yep, there we go. Pour the cream in there, put the camera back. At this point, you really want to turn your heat low, so you're not overcooking the garlic and whatever bits of chicken you have in there. And then you just take the bottle and you shake it. Shake it, shake it, shake it like a Polaroid picture. Now, baby, shake it. And then you pour it in. And that's going to thin up your Alfredo sauce. And it's going to add flavor from the cream. It's going to make it nice and creamy. And it's going to make your sauce go a little further. So what I do here is I put the back burner on because we're going to start to boil our pasta, and I accidentally turned it so low that I shut the flame off. So you really want to get that flame as low as you can without shutting the burner off. Or if you have an electric, even better, it's easier to do. And then you want to stir all that craziness in because it looks like crap right now. But believe me, it is absolutely delicious when you're done. So you stir it in. It's going to make the Alfredo look a little darker, but trust me, guys, it's great flavor. So here we are mixing it in. Make sure you mix it nice and thorough and keep that heat on low because it's going to take a little bit for your water to boil. And you want to keep that sauce kind of hot because it depends on when you finish your pasta too. I mean, a lot of chefs will tell you that immediately after you finish cooking your pasta, you should rinse it in cold water because it gets the starch off the water and the oil, and it cools the pasta down so it stops from cooking more. Because believe it or not, when you drain your pasta and you just leave it in the pot, it continues to cook, and you can actually burn it by just letting it sit. And I don't know why I'm letting the camera sit here for so long, just staring at it all, because I'm getting more sauce in the can. That's what it is. I wanted to make it a little thinner because it was still a little thick to me. So you make sure you mix that cream in really well. Mix, 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 mix. Hopefully next time I can actually just commentary live on this. I did watch this video a couple times. You think I'd know exactly everything I did right off the bat, but I didn't. So now, I also have garlic Alfredo. If that's not enough, there's extra Alfredo. I buy 2 jars. Again, it's depending on your family size. This actually turned out to be just the perfect amount. What I had left over was just enough for one more plate for my grandmother to warm up the next day. And here we are. We have the sauce simmering. Make sure you keep mixing because it will develop a little skin over it, but it's not too bad. Now, in our water, we have oil and salt in our pot. That's it. The salt's for flavoring the pasta, and the oil's to stop it from getting clumpy and sticking to the bottom of the pan while it boils. And we are just going to grab our noodles here, I think. Oh, okay, yeah. We're boiling the water. That's what it is. I had to cut to boil the water. So now the water's boiling nicely, and the Alfredo is keeping nice and warm. We're going to add in our egg noodles. We used egg noodles this time. I mean, you could use angel hair pasta. You could use ziti. Any kind of pasta you want goes pretty well with this. So we're going to empty our about half the bag into the boiling water. There we go. And again, you can put as much as you want. It depends on the size of the family that you're feeding. And see, we used about half the bag. And then we're just gonna wait for it to cook. I believe I only show you this for a couple minutes of me stirring it. A couple seconds, I should say, not a couple minutes. God, that would take forever. And then we cut back to the finished part of it. You want to make sure you stir your pasta occasionally before I forget. Uh, because it will clump up and it just becomes a brick and it becomes pointless. You have to start all over. And here we are. We're quick cut back and we are finished. The pasta as quickly is cooked. That usually takes about 5 to 6 minutes to cook it. You want it al dente. You don't want it too soft. You don't want it crunchy hard. So then you just drain your pasta in the sink. Get rid of all that starch water and oil. And again, at this point, you should rinse it down with some cold water. Shake out all the hot water so it doesn't continue to cook. But we're going to be serving this right away. So next time you see it, we're going to cut to plating. I like to put the colander back on top of the pot to let it drain more. Yeah, next we'll do the plating. We'll stir. Now we're going to do the plating. So we're pretty much all done. There's your sauce. There's your pasta. Grab your chicken. Voila. Put a couple of scoops of pasta in there on that plate. There's two. Spread it around a little bit. See, that's why I should have poured cold water on it. See how it's clumping up there? And then you get your Alfredo sauce. You put as much as you like or as little as you like. I like to have a good amount because I like to get some on my chicken as well. And I hope this video was helpful to you. I hope you try this out and I hope you like it. Check out Japics and Vaultgirls playlist and their cooking videos because they have some really good stuff. If you like, subscribe, tell your friends to subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Enjoy.
Ha ha ha! Too fun!